Here after the ground report, you have to out a lot of fires. Mikey K and the boys not easy. Good morning to Andy, Lennox, Mikey, and crew. Yeah, because even though, and I want to say this, and I said this to them yesterday, they are some of the hardest working people in politics, and I do not think that anybody should underestimate the power of the Stakeholders United movement to influence results in the next elections. This is a different time, Trinidad and Tobago. Now is a different time for the people, and we want to discuss today, starting from the very start to now, how this country became such a corrupt and broken nation. But before we get into that, I'd like to introduce Felicia Holder, chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party. She's here this morning to discuss a massive walk that is taking place this Sunday. It's happening at the Queen's Park, Savannah. It is in collaboration with the United Nations. And I just want to give you a list of some of the people that's supposed to be walking with this organization on Sunday, meeting at Stanmore Avenue for 9 o'clock. And Missing Persons TT, Healing with Horses Tobago, Women Everywhere, Womantra, Network of NGOs, Caribbean Kids and Families, Domestic Workers Trade Union, TNT Green Building, Here Me Too, Marabella Family Crisis Center, Moms for Literacy Caribbean, Motivated in Motion, Traditional African Women's Organization, and many others. Schools, professional organizations, NGOs, civil society, activist groups, all coming together to raise this issue in the public space, this most damnable of issues, 2018. Felicia Holder, we still talking about violence and abuse of women in 2018?
Yes, we are, and thank you for that introduction. Good morning, Philip. Good morning to the viewers and listeners of 104.7. And yes, exactly what you're saying. The fact that we are still talking about this, it is damning, it's frustrating, and it's something that I think needs absolutely to stop. The fact that you called out a list of names of NGOs and civil groups, and I felt proud, it warmed my heart to know that regardless of the fact that a political party is leading this charge, that everybody is willing to put that aside, where Orange come out in support of this movement that has been neglected for so long in a country that is so wealthy that we're not taking care, we're not taking care of our women and our children.
Yesterday, the owners of this radio station, Robert Amara, told me that they too have a movement called the Me Too movement, Trinidad and Tobago, Me Too TT, and that they will be walking, they will be coming out in their numbers to represent as well. Me Too TT has started, I just found out yesterday, 6 months ago. That's to show you how much work being done in the country, and that's great stuff. It's great that so many people, so many organizations are stepping up. Trinidad is changing. Gone are the days where the citizens were going to just sit up and shut up and take whatever was handed down to them. Trinidadians are standing up now for their rights, and that is an excellent thing. This issue though, gender-based violence, is really, I want to find a word that is radio friendly, that we could still be having men outside there responding to matters that get out of their control, so they exert physical force to achieve their objectives. It shows that our education system, what Richard Blaze and I was talking about yesterday, our education system is failing. When you're in a conversation and you have to resort to personal attacks and obscenities, and you have to resort to violence to make a point, then it's fair to say that you ran out of intelligent thought and you've reverted to base animal. Yeah?
Yesterday when we were on radio, I remember mentioning,
Speak up a little louder.
When we were on radio, I remember mentioning that we also have a society where we have men who have been taught to stifle their emotions, and that it's not manly to cry and it's not manly to express yourself. So instead, we have men who walking around with chips on their shoulders, feeling like, you know what, I have to be macho, I have to be manly, and the only way for me to deal with that is, like you say, to resort to mere instinct. And the fact that we can point this out, we can point out the fact that we have a society that is male, that is male dominant, that we have men who think it is okay and right to abuse women. The fact that we can point it out and, like you say, it is still a problem is very concerning.
The purpose of the walk is to raise awareness, to bring it onto the front burner. The last time an organization that I was a part of undertook a social issue to bring to the front burner. It was the Jericho Project. And over the course of 3 years, we put almost 100,000 people on the road through 3 marches called the Jericho Project, Akil Chambers, Justice for Children March. And those marches forced the then People's Partnership government to bring out the languishing, already debated and passed children's bill to make it law, to have it assented, to create the Children's Authority, to give the Children's Authority funding and to set it up. And while this is not a support or indictment for or against the Children's Authority, because to be quite honest, I am not happy with what passes for any type of social services in this country at present. But I believe that we could get to a place where the people, once awoke, once the people understand their power. Trinidadians have social media. Trinidadians just saw what France did. For 3 weeks, they said we are not taking a rise in the price of fuel. You will not do it. No matter what threats you make, no matter what you send. The people of France stood their ground, government backed down. This movement, it is time that this issue be put to rest. Women should not be living under the threat of violence in the workplace, in the public space, or at home. And there should be onerous and serious and rapid consequences for any situation that devolves to violence against people who ostensibly are weaker than you. Now, the conversation is changing to gender-based violence because there are situations where the woman is the abuser. There are situations where the woman is the abuser, and there's psychological abuse, and there are different ways to advantage people and take advantage of the position. But this march is specifically aimed at raising the issue of violence against women, yes?
Women and girls, yes.
Women and girls.
But I was thinking about that this morning, and I know that's what it's centered around, but I know also we're going to have people walking for cases of children. This young boy whose autopsy was inconclusive, Joash, who apparently was strangled and possibly buggered. I don't know, this is just inconclusive so far, but I mean, I read a list on Facebook last night. The list was endless, full of names, just boys and girls and young teenagers who are missing or dead or killed in this country, and it's frightening. And on Sunday, I know people are going to come out and walk for boys, girls, women, men who have been abused, who have been attacked, who have gone missing, because it's too much. And I recently got into a little argument, not so much with a friend who asked, why am I doing this under the political umbrella? Because we usually commemorate this 16 days of awareness with our own private work with another NGO. And I said I made it political because everything is politics. The fact that we can have an NGO or civil group saying that the epidemic is growing and is getting worse and nothing is happening means we're not having the correct buy-in. It means that we're not having the right people lobbying for the right laws, the right protection, the right arm of the police service to investigate and chase and uncover these cold cases. We don't have that, and we need the political intervention. Everything is politics, and
that's what you should have told your friend, because
I did.
Because everything fails, and social management has failed the country, education has failed the country, to the point where the average person is clueless as to how things should be, and if they are not that way, how to get them that way. We have public office holders who are just there for the salary and the perks and the blue lights, who have absolutely no interest in changing the status quo. And Trinidad has remained trapped in the dark ages despite being one of the wealthiest nations in the world and being, fortunately, in the tropics. We have summer 24/7. So we don't have the challenges that other nations have. That if we chose to get down to the business of actually operating and running a proper functional country where every citizen had the same advantages and benefits, Trinidad and Tobago would be the envy of the world.
And the fact that we are, this is a really sad shame. One of the things, again, I mean, going back to the walk, I have to say that it would be a very historic moment for me because I personally have not in the past been a person to be involved in so many of these walks and activism. The fact that I am involved in it now is I feel a sense of pride. And there's another thing that, you know, unites us in all of this, is that gender-based violence and violence against women and children and boys and girls, it does not discriminate. It does not discriminate by race and religion and skin color. Ethnicity does not discriminate. And we as a country need to recognize that all of these things that are impacting us, that are attacking us, it does not discriminate. We had a drug bust in Westmoreland. It can happen to anybody. Anybody can be involved. We are one people, and the fact that we have allowed this division to keep us apart, whereas the issues impact all of us, is really sad. And I'm looking forward to seeing just the multiples of people, the different groups of people coming out to support, because the list that you call out, it really shows that the people are taking the issue seriously, no matter what group or what class of society they belong to.
Give them the details, where they have to assemble, what time.
We are assembling at our headquarters, 19 Stanmore Avenue. That is the street right after Victoria Avenue off of the Savannah. We are encouraging people to wear orange. Now, orange is the theme. Orange the World is the United Nations theme for the 16 days of activism. It started on November the 25th and ends on December 10th. We are holding our work on the 9th, and we are encouraging everybody, man, woman, child, boy, girl, come out, because this is, like I said, an issue that impacts all of us, every single person in this country. We all know somebody or have been a victim of some kind of violence or gender-based violence or violence against children. And I do encourage you to come out. Like I said, 19 Stanmore Avenue, we assemble at 9 o'clock, but we leave at 10.
But when you say it though, I mean, this country, as tiny as it is, has had some of the most atrocious attacks against women that I think anywhere. I mean, we've had this young police officer. She was so gorgeous. I will never forget this girl's face. The first time I saw her picture,
Joseph, yeah.
what was her name?
Joseph.
Oh my God, she was beautiful. I can't believe they killed that girl. Then there was Asami. They found her dead on an Ash Wednesday morning. I mean, on an ash
tree.
Under a tree. But she was a Japanese Trini. She our culture. She gave her life literally, pursuing our culture. We had this girl that they found her body in Iams. What's going on with that case? We have the Sukdeo girl. What's her name? Ria Sukdeo. She's like a poster girl for women that have gone missing. We have a situation in this country that is totally unacceptable, where we treat our people like they are disposable. Like if something happened to you, well, hard luck for you, bro. You should have been paying attention. We blame the victims. We shame the victims instead of holding the nation to a higher standard. And you see all of that? All of that has to change. How we treat ourselves, each other, this nation. Yesterday I said to Richard Blaze, this discipline, tolerance, and production nonsense that Eric Williams foisted on the nation, trying to create a slave labor camp. We needed things like excellency, harmony, and respect. Those are real watchwords. Why aren't we respecting each other? Greed and unchecked corruption has destroyed this nation. And we have people this morning, I don't even know who is the social development minister under this government, because it is such a wasted position. Under the People's Partnership, whoever was the least qualified, the least closest to the Prime Minister, I take that. That's a CPEP position in Trinidad and Tobago governance. And the social development and management of a country is the most important thing that a government does. The well-being of all the citizens is the function of government, is the reason for government, and it is the purpose of government. Without that, there is no need for government. Government is not just inherited royalty or royalty you vote for every 5 years. It's not a, well, it's just so. We always do it so. So it is. It's not that. The Constitution calls for a mechanic if you have an engine to fix. The Constitution calls for a hairdresser if you have hair to cut. The Constitution calls for a street sweeper if you have a street to sweep. The Constitution calls for ministers to do certain jobs. The Constitution calls for members of Parliament to represent the people to the throne of power. Trinidad and Tobago is wasteful, twisted, broken, inside out and upside down. We've been led astray by fools. Eric Williams was probably the greatest abuser this nation has ever known. He was a square peg in a round hole. He made an absolute mess of this country. And the generation that still believes Eric Williams was anything like a father of this nation, you all need to die out quick so that the conversation could change. Because Basdeo Pandey, Patrick Manning, Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, and Keith Rowley, all of the abuses and mismanagement that takes place and took place under all of them was set in train by Eric Eustace Williams, that failure of a prime minister that used his power to abuse this nation and create a culture of misbehavior in public office. Felicia Holder, before you wrap up your contribution, because that conversation today, you're going to light these airwaves on fire. But before you wrap up your conversation on the issue of the women, what is it go forward here? After this walk, what are we calling for? Are we putting social development and management on the spot? Are we going straight to the Prime Minister? Are we saying, hey, this is your job? Protect the women of this country? Are we doing that?
Definitely. We can't stop here, Philip. The walk that we're having on Sunday is just the start of this 16 years of activism is all well and good, but we need activism that continues to pressure the government, continues to pressure the Commissioner of Police. I heard he said he's going to form a special unit to go after cold cases and missing cases like Rhea Suglio.
If Gary Griffith say that happening.
Well, then it has to happen. I'm not going to close my eyes on it because
Gary had my full support, and everybody know that. People in the PEP, before he became Commissioner of Police, used to say Gary was a pepper. I like how he moving, and I think if he said that, if he brought that out of the blue and said that, what was Stephen Williams doing? What was Stephen Williams doing with the job? What was he doing? This girl that get killed in carnage and flung out the car. Remember that one coming from a party? The man went and killed himself after. Leave this little beautiful child parentless. I mean, where is this social management in this country to identify situations of abuse? We talk about a functional education system that could identify quickly if a child's grades are slipping. If you want to know if the relationship between a husband and a wife in a home is breaking down, check the grades of the children in the school. As the first indicator, mommy and daddy fighting every night. You can't study, you worrying, family going and mash up because we forget. But up to a certain age, 12, 13 years old, your home is your whole world. Yeah. And anything that threatens that world, and you could find quickly. But there should also be hotlines. And not hotline in name only, but there should be hotlines where women and men could call and say, listen, we need an intervention. We need help. We are having a problem. We're losing the plot. This is failing us. The family is such a critical crucible to the development of this country that the government should set aside funding in social development and management so that family issues could be addressed expeditiously, and anything that could be done to assist in saving the family, or if it has to break up, in assisting them to agree to disagree and to part ways, understanding that
ideally social development should be one of the largest ministries.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Understanding that the issues that face us are because of a broken society, broken homes, broken communities. If you fix the home, you fix the if you fix the family, you fix the home, you fix the community, you fix the
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are critical issues that we ignore, but the development of a nation is pegged to the development of the individual, the family, the community. Social development. If I say this and you don't get it, think it through. Social development is supposed to be a super ministry under which Ministry of National Security and Ministry of Education come. The entire fabric of the interrelations between the people in the country, positive and negative, is all social management. Quality of life is government's job. We propose something called, it's a revolutionary concept in Trinidad, but we propose something called a quality of life index, where you would have a 24-hour, 7 days a week website where you could go to, and the first question it asks you is, are you happy? Happiness is supposed to be a psychologist's first question to a patient is, are you happy? If not, why not? Because all diagnosis of any condition in a country starts with the happiness and the contentment of the population. The government's job is not to dictate to the people. The government's job is to serve the people. We've been tolerating bullshit in this country for so long that we believe bullshit is the status quo. It's not. How this country is supposed to be run. And you know what is a symptom of how broken this country is? The fact that every time Gary Griffith lock up somebody or they take down some piece of criminality, it's how we celebrate it. I said to somebody yesterday, this nation's so broken that if you go to licensing office and they treat you with respect, you want to post that on Facebook. First, it's...
I mean, yeah, that's abnormal.
If you go to a public office to do business and you get through within an hour and you need to use a restroom and it's clean and there's toilet paper and there's an information desk and the job that you came to do, you would think that you're in another country. That wouldn't be Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. You're not expecting that in Trinidad and Tobago. You don't expect to go to the bank and the bank says, how can I help you make more money today? Because the banks treat you like, how can I take advantage of you more? We have nothing in place in this country. And we celebrate. People right now ready. If you hear today, hotspots getting burned down today, people say, well, they're due for that. I want to ask you a Tobago question. Are the chambers of commerce that have facilitated all of the crime in this country, if that also starts to happen to them, would you be equally so? Because yesterday I had to ask, in one bus, in one drug bus, more cocaine was found in Bayshore that has been found in the history of Morva, Beetham, Lavatel, and Ceylons. So what Bayshore need a gate for? To protect the criminals? We will discuss that further. Felicia, wrap up your contribution on this march on Sunday. Is this Sunday? Yes, and we're coming out in our numbers. And it's not a march, it's a walk.
It's a walk, yeah.
Why do I keep saying march? It's a walk. It's an awareness walk. It's an awareness walk, yeah? Give us that info.
So this Sunday, we gather at 9 a.m. at 19 Stanmore Avenue. That is in Port of Spain, right?
All political parties could come? Everybody?
Listen, this is open to anybody. Nice. Once you believe that this is an issue, that we need to address it, that this is just the start, that more needs to be done, come out. I don't care who you are, come and support.
About the disabled, the differently able, we have cars following, we have cars following, we have refreshments, we have water,
we're supposed to have an ambulance as well,
marshals for the walk to protect everybody all through the walk, so we properly organize. Yeah. So if it's one thing they're going to get is a professional and safe walk around the savannah.
The Progressive Empowerment Party promises nothing less. Nice.
So we'll touch base again on some of the people that are coming out together, besides the other NGOs, the United Nations, the other activist groups, missing persons, healing with horses, women everywhere, Womantra, network of NGOs, Caribbean Kids and Families Therapy, Domestic Workers Trade Union, TNT Green Building Council, Hear Me Too TT, Me Too TT, Marabella Family Crisis Center, Moms for Literacy Caribbean, Motivated in Motion, Traditional African Women's Organization, and the Jericho Project will be joining together with the Progressive Empowerment Party under the umbrella of the United Nations Orange the World, and we'll be having a walk to raise awareness this Sunday, and we will be having contributions after. We will be speaking. We will at the Stanmore Avenue courtyard. There will be seating, there will be tents set up, and there will be an open mic. Any family members of people who have been abused, who have gone missing, who have been killed, anybody who feels that the system has failed them, if you are a victim, if you are a victim of a cold and heartless Trinidad and Tobago that has put nothing in place to protect our women, come and use that open mic. You'll be in a safe space. Come and talk your talk. Thank you very much, Felicia, for joining us on this issue this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome to stay if you want to talk corruption with me. But that's where we're going, and I'm opening the mic just now, and I'm telling you, we're going to light it on fire. So yeah, Chez, give me my song again to take me back inside there. I think Chez was playing a crossword puzzle there.
Yeah! Revelation!
Chez! Oh, just to put on the mouth. No, they don't have to get any feed, right?
jacking in the headphones into the thing, just like how you hear it.
But my phone is not like that, you know.
I know, what I'm saying is, you're jacking in headphones, regular headphones. That's why you're using the headphones.
Right.
I just put the headphones over.
But I only have one headphones.
Well, that's what I mean. So we have to get a second one. So like how we talking here.
Oh gosh, he left it in Stanmore. We have it, you know.
Is that what we talking here?
No, we have it.
Yeah, we talking here. So when it's here.
Yes. Well,
like how we're hearing this here?
So what they're hearing right now.
So they're hearing us talking now.
okay.
Yeah.
I go inside. We open up the mic.
You know where I'm coming from? So
Yeah.
everything you hear in here, they hear it. They hear the phone calls, they hear the conversation, they hear everything.
Understood. We have the second headphone, you know. This boy Satish organized it. I just remember it in Stanmore Avenue.
Right.
Oh gosh.
So I have to wait.
Understand?
Well, you gotta chill. You gotta chill. See if the car behind you continue.
He promised the plan next time. He promised the plan next time. And he will then.
This is a political broadcast. It is a paid broadcast. So let's be clear about that. When you see me on a TV or a radio station, when you see me live on social media, don't be in doubt. It's political. It's going to be political. Every problem this country has is political. It is a failure of politics. Politics is a Latin word that means on the people's business. Every prime minister, including this sitting prime minister, has failed the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. And I am putting Kamla Prasad Bisesa on the spot this morning because instead of fighting the corruption of Patrick Manning, you and your people organized Section 34 to free previous UNC criminals and corrupt bandits. You have no chance at talking from a moral high ground. None whatsoever. We are taking your calls. By next week, we will have a system. Satish Ramsaran has already organized the additional headphones. But we will be taking your calls now. 628-9191. Was it 9595 and 3131? Sorry. 628-9595, 628-3131. I am in here with Ches, and we're going to light this up now. Trinidad and Tobago is a broken and corrupt society. We have to accept this to fix it. The next government coming into office have to start immediately. Shut down the special purpose companies. Shut them down. What Patrick Manning created when he created UDCOT and Sport TT and EMBD and EFCL was a means by which to bypass the treasury, to bypass tenders, to create a way so that friends and financiers and family members could steal public funds easily. We need to address that. The next government coming into office have to give you an undertaking that they will enact strong procurement laws, that they will create a transparent and public accountable tenders process, that they will shut down. We're taking some calls. Cheers, give me that. 628-9595. 628-3131. Hello, good morning. So far, so good. Yeah, listen to that. All right, but I want to tell you to stick up in for a minute. Only this. You know I brave. You know I going after all of them, but I want to tell you this. Let us do nothing and say nothing to interfere with any potential court cases because we want all these people to be brought to justice now. You agree with me? Well, as soon as an arrest made, you must take it for granted that at some point it will be before the court, and let us not do anything that corrupts. And I'm saying to you, this is not out of fear or covering anybody, because as soon as we have an opportunity to talk free, we have to talk free. Yes? So I just ask you about that. But anyway, be guided by that and go forward.
Okay, what I'm concerned about, okay, the job, I'm not really taking an issue with that. What I'm really taking an issue with information in the public domain that a ransom was paid in Junction money. My question is, one thing they pay the money to get that skill, but who paid a ransom? Who paid a ransom in Junction?
All right, but you see, I had to ask you this. When we say it in the public domain, you and I have to agree that until, and I am not breaking for nobody, but until we know for fact, because I mean, I would love to know that there is some system in this country that could give us actual fact and prosecute these people. And a progressive empowerment party government will make sure that happens. Don't get me wrong. But right now, we don't know if that's a fact. And they have so much political wickedness and vindictiveness in this country. I don't want to be used sharing other political parties' nonsense on each other. You follow me? Yeah? Xiao Chong is not a man that I respect. And after his statement on this poor child, who, I mean, for all her stupidity, for the nonsense, and she have to be like every other young people who run foul of the law. There must be consequences. But you are her stepfather. For a long time, she knew you as daddy. And you will just abandon the child because she gets herself in trouble because you have a public office.
All I want to say to the Felicia, and this is my reason for this question, publicity was a type of information. First thing was, who put that information out to the public? Was that published by the local media here, or I just have something that your public came up with on their own? If it was released by the public media themselves, don't think by the news reporters and the election and idea is one thing. But if there is something John Public just took up on their own and run with, I mean, John Public would be wrong for this.
John Public doing that all the time. I watched them on the day, 15 minutes after the arrest was made. Somebody create a post that was signed by somebody named PC Davis that was just nonsense. People... You see, you're drawing me into your conspiracy as to what I heard or did not hear. My ears to the ground. I want you to trust and assume that everything you hear, I hear. But there is nothing I could do about that. I can't do anything at this point about hearsay. No, I want to tell you this. I believe that law enforcement should be guided by hearsay because we have to also realize that where there is smoke, there had to be some fire. Exactly, I agree with you. My friend, I just realized that you and I chatting, like you and I sitting down in a bar, but other people want to call in. We could cut this short. We got to talk some more, right? Yeah? Keep in touch. Keep in touch. Keep in touch. Yeah, we in. Keep everybody coming. Hello, good morning. Hey, you have a direct line to this station, but once you want to call, the switchboard light up like a Christmas tree and you get through. Well, Amar told me yesterday they gave them calls already and we only had 2 shows for the week. So yeah, PH, with a man like you on board, that happening. And you and I have to meet, brother. You are a man on the ground. You are a man on the ground. Hey, later, brother. PH, the man tell the constable that he accustomed coming through that door. That is a criminal act. You have been bypassing customs. Listener, that is a jailable offense. That is every single, hear me, that is every single airport's authority, law enforcement officer who has allowed that to happen in the past has co-opted the system and conspired to commit crime. Yeah. Faris say that because of his, he said because of his Muslim name, his beard, and his convent girl accent, they used to pull him aside and check his prostate. He is such a liar. He grew that beard conveniently to make a point. This man, this entire party is a bunch of stunt artists. All right, listen, social media, I am asking you all. Oh, it have to be on the thing. Putting it by the mic, not helping. Cheers. Yeah. PH, we gone. Come, 628-9595, 628-3131. I just realized that Felicia was guiding me wrong.
What?
That putting the mic by the speaker, by the microphone, by the speaker, not helping anybody. Just saying that I had to put it by the, right? So we going, and Philip want to grow beard too. Zida, or let's stick up in that. Faris don't have the patent on beards. Anyway, 62895. Look, Chess, bring them in. Hello, good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Mm-hmm. And she answer for that $143,000 here. Thank you a lot for that call. I had to fix something here. Sorry for cutting you short. I had to fix something. Chaz, I want to answer a question. When the caller's on, could you turn off my mic and give it to them so they hear it through the outside speaker?
Yeah.
All right, let me do that. We try to bring you all in here, but it could take a little minute and a little time. We're going to do a little something. So we're going to be fixing all of this by next week. We will have this thing organized. When we take calls, Chaz is going to turn off my microphone. So I am not going to be able to be answering you till after the call so that we could. So when I say good morning, we're turning off my mic and turning on the in-studio speaker so that those on social media could hear. All right? Good. So we're going with that. 628-9595, 628-3131. And I am saying again to Trinidad and Tobago that we need to go back to August 31st, 1962 and start there. We have to go back to that day. 628-9595, 628-3131. Have your say. Call in and have your say. Greed has destroyed this nation. Greed and corruption have destroyed Trinidad and Tobago. We have people in public office who are only interested in feathering their nest. Just let's take those calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, I just said I'm not going to be able to answer. So I'm saying I'm fine. Everybody else, I'm fine. But when you call after I say good morning, you just get straight into your stuff. Thanks a lot.
These two clowns in the airport issue. Everyone is saying that they don't have to go through customs. First, ministers travel with a diplomatic passport. So it is not, even if they go through customs, they cannot be searched. The whole thing is that they wanted to show that they want to go through there. Whether they go through there or not, customs cannot search them. So whatever they work with, they can't be searched. There's a whole thing about ego. And that's it.
I wanna say something to that caller, because right now I am searching. This is an international thing. This is not a Trinidad thing. And I want to find out what advantages a diplomatic passport allows. Because it cannot be that ministers are allowed to evade customs. It cannot be. Take a chance. Hello, good morning.
Philip Alexander.
Yeah.
First time caller. Yeah, I heard you saying, see what you had to say and then you'll respond. Okay. The diplomatic passport issue with these two clowns. Now, the US and other ports of entry in countries of the world in first world, second world, and third world, and fourth world. Fifth world is where we are at. All of those things of diplomatic passport issues has been removed because of the advantages that it, and the disadvantages it provides. Years ago, a diplomat showed his passport, and yes, they cannot be searched. Now, they can, if the officer that is presented to this diplomatic passport provides this passport at on entry, and it is only if the officer say, okay, fine, you go ahead, or I'm sorry, but I have to search your pouch. It happened years ago in Trinidad and Tobago, where it was found that the diplomatic bag carried some sort of illegal items in it, and it was searched either with the company of the diplomat or a thereafter scenario. So the diplomatic passport has nothing to do with it now. The point is, you had something in your hand that you felt you don't want to be attended to, like normal citizens. This privileges that our parliamentarians have has to stop. Has to stop.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed. And I am reading right now, and I want Trinidad to understand this. That diplomatic passport is not a Trinidad invention. This is part of the Diplomatic, Consular and International Organizations Act that is a part of the Vienna Convention. So we make this up, and we can't just create diplomatic passports and evade. And I am reminded of Jack Warner's son, who I am certain would have had a diplomatic passport when he was trying to move that foreign currency, when he was stopped in Trinidad and arrested on the foreign soil. Because we in Trinidad and Tobago, we run, I want to say, we run here a puppet country. We run a failed nation. Nothing in this country works. And I want to know, how could you have somebody like Camille Robinson Regis, who is still a suspect for that $143,000 brown bag of money that she went into the bank with? How could you have somebody like her evading customs? Cheers, we taking any more calls there? 628-9595, 628-3131. We're sorry about all the little hiccups this week. By next week, Satish Ramsaran is watching the show right now, and he will have all these problems solved next week. Take those calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
These two ministers with the attitude supposed to be stopped and searched. Because if I don't know you that the police tell me I cannot pass it and I want to pass somewhere else, and I will be stopped and searched?
Yes.
Next point. Next time I vote in this country, laws have to be passed when ministers spending people's money illegally and getting away with it. Because I can be paying tax and you taking my money and you tell me I can ask a question. Look like the roads. The roads are not good. And you charging me $750 for not missing on my car mashing up, but only not fixing the roads. What are they doing with my tax money? And I can ask a question. That is wrong. Thank you.
And you're absolutely 101% correct. Go to the head of the class. We want 1.4 million people like you that will tell the Prime Minister straight to his face, hey, you are my servant. You work for me. You do my job. This man, Moses, don't get to tell a constable, open the door and custom that. He's a madman. Take your calls. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Alexander. First time caller here. Just to the best of my knowledge, a diplomatic passport does not give you any diplomatic status outside of the country it is issued from. A diplomatic passport holder is still subjected to all the laws that govern the country of the passport issue. It's only for when you go into foreign soil, I believe. Could be wrong, but that's to the best of my recollection.
Thank you. Thank you for that caller. And I want to say this. the caller that alluded to this, I want to touch base on it again and bring it back. This is a country where cocaine and drugs was found in a diplomatic pouch. A progressive empowerment party government will take the issue of illegal drugs in this country very seriously. We propose 3 things. These 3 things are going to be law. We will shut down the nation's borders by the creation of a maritime security wall that stops and searches all marine craft 3 miles out at sea. We will create platforms using the existing, no longer functional oil barges to create platforms where immigration, customs, and police can operate with international agencies equipped with fast attack boats and interceptor helicopters connected by the 360-degree radar 3 miles out at sea. If you're approaching Trinidad and Tobago territorial water, you will yield to be searched. Go, Chess. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. If there was in America, you think the security guard would have opened the bathroom? They would have locked their ass up.
And is that. The second thing we propose is to unstuff all shipping containers. Are you aware that 40% of the containers that come into this country, shipping containers that come into this narco state, 40% of them leave the port unchecked? We got that information from nobody, no lesser person than the Prime Minister. How you could have shipping containers in a country notorious for cocaine transshipment? How you could have a country like this having shipping containers, nearly half the shipping containers passing through the port for free? You see that is without being checked. You see that is madness? Take it there, Jess. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
I certainly have your enthusiasm and everything. I just want to make sure that when you're putting up people for the next election, that you put them in all areas. Because I don't want you to leave areas as what you be considered strongholds and that sort of thing, because everybody's suffering. And another thing, based on things like you say, and I agree with our laws, our legal system is a significant part of our problem. These charlatans know because of the loopholes and the escape clauses that they can use. This is why they don't do this stuff. The length of time things take to get done. That is why they believe they can get away. And I would appreciate that you said you would go back as far as possible in terms of finding our money and bringing to the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago. A pet peeve of mine is hearing people talk about we're doing this thing for the tourists and we're doing this thing for the tourists. A good road is a good road. Why we can't appreciate a good road? Why do we have people willing to accept a boat that can't sail? Why did we and then we go outside to do things that we and then complain that championship that and this cannot do? Why is it we can't accept good things for ourselves? Why don't we recognize that we have everything here to be the Dubai and Abu Dhabi or the Caribbean or even better and recognize that.
Caller, I need to tell you, thanks very, very much for your contribution, but we're running out of time and we have to wrap up this. Yeah, bring it down to the last 5 seconds. Time is away. There you gone. All right, so listen, Trinidad and Tobago, everything you're saying, I mean, I am so proud of the people of this country for standing up. And we are going to work to the caller who asked if we are going to put people in every constituency. I want to tell you something. We have 32 caretakers, shadow MPs right now. We're ready for any election. We will be able to field candidates. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the fastest growing party in this country's history. Yes, the PNM and UNC are deathly afraid of us. That is why you're not seeing us on mainstream media. They want to block my voice and the voice of the other members of this party as much as possible. They want to shut down social media so that you don't hear that you have options and you have choices or that you have rights. We need to fix these things. I just want to add that the third thing that the Progressive Empowerment Party is going to do is suspend diplomatic privileges and search the diplomatic pouches because we want to end the drug trade. And we're going to tell all of the countries that have embassies and high commissions here, listen. For the next 2 years, Trinidad and Tobago is going to be embarking on an exercise that makes it drug-free. So for the next 2 years, you will have to either submit your diplomatic pouches for search and examination, or you could feel free to shut down your embassy for 2 years and your high commission for 2 years and come back when our nation is drug-free. The day, as Gary Griffith say, happy hour over. And it can't just be for small fish. Happy hour after over, up on the top, come down. Happy hour after over, where the view big. We have to go after all. Trinidad and Tobago, support that thinking. Support right is right and wrong is wrong. Support it. This is a nation where we know, where we've been told. Under previous administration, state vehicles, law enforcement vehicles have been used to transport drugs. All we need to do is secure the nation's borders, unstuff the containers on the port, and end all of the back channels by which drugs are brought into this country. I applaud Gary Griffith for that arrest. But I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. Don't get too excited about that. That is a tip of the iceberg. This is a country that has transshipped billions of dollars worth of cocaine. Monas Island drug bust has caused a ripple through this society. People get killed, places get burned down. We still don't know. People saying this tied to that. I don't know. I am not in a position to know. But what I am in a position to tell you is that if you elect a Progressive Empowerment Party government to office, laws will be written that will ensure that those who are committing crimes are brought to justice from the top down. We will ensure that we will close the doors that have brought in, that have allowed. The Prime Minister told the nation there are 30,000 illegal guns in the country, but he didn't secure the borders and he didn't unstuff the containers that bring in the guns into the country. Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from, Mr. Prime Minister? You're making a mockery of your office. You're making fools of your followers. You went and tell your followers that $45 million gets stolen from your relief fund because you and your people jump out on yourself and tell them $125 million in damage. The water was still there. Nobody knew what their damage was. How did you come up with that number? Or did you force reality to fit your facts? But anyway, you come out with $125 million. And then you send people to deal with this issue that are incapable of recognizing a fraud. In a country where corruption is rampant, you send people to do that. With $15,000 and $20,000 checks, people had to provide identification to collect those checks. If you do an investigation, you would find where the fraudsters were. I think you were bullshitting the nation, Keith Rowley. I think that was another one of your lies. I know that you are a serial teller of untruths and the grand deceiver. Nothing you say can be trusted. After Emailgate, you should have never been allowed to stand with parliamentary privilege. You should have been charged for treason. Emailgate is the greatest stain against the due process and the sanctity of Parliament in this country's history. And you should have been charged for that. After Emailgate and the fact that you, Keith Christopher Mugabe Sabga Rowley, king of the infidels, the fact that you were able to damage Gary Griffith's reputation, and it is the strength of that boy's character saved him. The fact that you could have used Emailgate to damage his character, and without repealing, resolving, apologizing for Emailgate, come and appoint the same man commissioner of police, show that you are a double-tongued deceiver, and nobody in this nation should ever trust a single word you say. If it's on fire and you show up to save me, I trust the fire more. Keith Christopher Rowley is the worst thing to happen to this nation, and we've never had a good prime minister. So imagine how bad that man have to be. Trinidad and Tobago needs to be undone and redone. We need to reboot this republic. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, need to find it in ourselves, find the courage, find the strength, find the civic mindedness, find the patriotism. We have to stand together, one people under one flag. Throw aside the bullshit racism. Trinidad is the only country in the world where Indians and Africans have political conflict. Only country in the world. The Mahatma Mohandas Gandhi, his first activism was in South Africa, fighting apartheid for black people. Stop being led astray by fools and charlatans. I have to keep reminding myself on the radio and not social media. Trinidad and Tobago, one people under one flag. That is the answer and the cure to the cancer and the corruption. That is the PNM and the UNC. One people under one flag. Unite this nation from the ground up. The 1% attacking me every chance they get because they're scared to death. Because happy hour, really and truly, going to be over. Trinidad and Tobago, We have to do this. We have a responsibility to ourselves, to the future, to our loved ones, and to this nation to fix it. Let us stand together. Start this Sunday. This Sunday, come and meet at PEP headquarters, 19th Stanmore Avenue, and walk with us in a leisurely, beautiful walk that raises the issue of the most heinous thing affecting this country right now. Advantage and violence against the weakest section of society. Felicia, would you like to say anything before we go?
I did not, but thank you again for reiterating that the march is this Sunday for anybody who would have just or recently joined us at 19th Stanmore Avenue. We gather at 9 a.m. We move off at 10. We're going to have police presence, ambulance, security, marshals, etc. Come walk with us. Come show your solidarity for the women, children, the kids who have been abused, raped, killed, gone missing, those we can't find, and of course, most importantly, that we begin the discussion on ending this epidemic that is plaguing the country.
Thanks 104.7, thanks Robert Amar, thanks Chess, thanks all the loyal listeners, thanks all of you who follow us on social media. Until next week Monday, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.